What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode. Lions Den. What's up? What's up, man? What's up? What's up? You having some technical difficulties, bro?
Yeah, man. How's my sound?
It sounds out of line, bro. I can hear you, though. I can hear you. Go ahead, turn your screen back right, bro. Hey, but listen, y'all. If this your first time tuning in, y'all, we focus on all things leadership, growth, and development with a call to action from the household to out in the community. And yeah, we're gonna have a good show today, right? We good? We good, bro? How was your weekend, man?
It's all right, man. I ain't really do too much, man. Went to a little kids basketball game. That's always interesting. But other than that, I ain't do too much, man. Well, how was your weekend?
Man, you know what? It was pretty good, man. Pretty relaxing. I came back from the trip out of town in Texas, communicating with the Wounded Warriors, which is always dope. And then just taking some time to relax, bro. Taking some time to relax and everything, man. But I'm really excited about today's conversation, man, as we're in this, I guess, the halfway point of the first month of this year, man. And and it's crazy, y'all. Look, fun fact, y'all, how we come up with these topics. Listen, normally, we have thoughts, we have these conversations and say, yo, this will be a great show, blah, blah, blah. Or we know somebody that'll be a great guest, right? But this time it was a little different. You know what I'm saying? It was a little different. What was different, huh?
I don't know. We were just sitting around just talking. What made it different?
I mean, so I think what made it different is we and friends, I want y'all to understand this, y'all. First of all, shout out to y'all that's tuning in. I know it's a lot of things that's going on that probably got your attention right now with the games and everything like that. But when you have an accountability partner, okay, it's extremely important to have individuals that's going to hold you accountable to make sure you're doing the things that you said that you was going to do. All right. And for my just being transparent, this week and weekend has went by so fast, I almost forgot what day it was, for real. Like, yo, we got a show today. You know what I mean? So yeah, but anyway, man, shout out to you for holding me accountable, man, and reminding me, and yeah, appreciate that, bro. But now what you think about this topic, man? Is it me? Am I the problem? What you think about that?
I think this is a topic that a lot of people struggle with, right? Because it falls right in line with accountability, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of times, especially when you're leading with your best intentions, right? Like you're doing everything you feel like is right or necessary, respectful. But it still ain't enough for certain people.
Yeah.
Right? Or certain groups.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean necessarily there's a problem with you yet.
Yeah. No, that's true.
The same thing happens when you go to another group.
Yeah.
Or another group, and you get pretty much the same feedback, the same rejection.
Mm-hmm.
There's got to be a time where, like, what is going on with my approach, my attitude? What is it about me that's repelling people? And it can't be always, the answer can't be is they ain't ready for a strong, independent, blah, blah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It can't always be just too strong for everybody. You know what
That's
I mean?
right.
Too smart.
Right.
Right.
So no, I like that, man. And so, friends, not only we're talking about this accountability, but understand this accountability isn't about beating yourself up. Okay. It is about having grace, but it's also about owning your role in your story. Okay. And life stories. So important. So here we are. If you was going to the gym and then you stop for whatever reason, right? As a matter of fact, believe it or not, this is where the down slope is as far as individuals that was getting it in at the first of the year, and now they're starting to dwindle on off. So this is opportunity not only to ask yourself why you're not doing it, right? But any other excuses that you're probably putting out there as to why you're not being the best version of yourself. So the question is it you, right? Is it you? Are we able to have that real conversation? So, what type of what type of signs you think individuals will have to realize that, hey, I might be the damn problem?
I think that because I've really seen people like when it comes to work, right? That going to a job, uh, they feel like it's always going to be better at the next job or the next base or the next whatever, and it's always the same result. You still have the same miserable experience there, right? I think one of the first signs people need to know if they're always unhappy, no matter what the situation is. That should be one of your first signs that, hey man, something's going on, because I can't just always be unhappy with everything.
Right, right. Yeah. No, shout out, man. That makes a whole lot of sense. It says, hey, it's me. My picker is off. Okay. So I'm not sure what that means, but at the same
I
time, which think he's saying? Which thing Shu's saying? Shout out to you, Shu.
picking the wrong people.
Mm.
Yeah,
Whoa.
yeah,
Ah.
yeah. Just again, now you find yourself you attracted the same kind of crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute, why you always gotta be attracted to the same kind of man, the same type of man, and think you about to hit a different result with this one, but he act just like the last one.
And so, look, friend, look, y'all, we're talking about this real thing, and it's so easy to talk about individuals as far as, hey, this person is the enemy. But how many times do we talk about the inner me? Hey, trust. Hey, as a matter of fact, that's a bar right there. Okay, yo, I did that. Yo, for real, I don't know where that came from. However, think about it though. The inner me, like, am I the issue? Are we able to do the things that we need to do to either realize this person isn't right for me, or I'm not right for that person? You dig what I'm saying? It is so hard, instead of pointing the blame at everybody else, right? So it's like if the same issues, like you said, are always happening, but with different people, it's time to look inside yourself. You dig what I'm saying?
For real.
Think about it.
Yeah. It's either that, like, if you feel miserable with let's go back. A lot of our people military, they know. When we PCS to another base, we can't wait to PCS because we tired of this base.
Yeah.
And then we get there and he's feeling the same thing again.
Yeah.
And you go to the next base, the same thing again.
Same thing. Hey,
you know what I
different
mean?
areas.
You always think the grass is about to be greener on the other side.
Yeah.
No. You having a miserable experience because you're being miserable.
Because you're miserable.
Yeah, stop that.
Yo,
stop that.
I mean, that is the realest thing. So look, shout out again, Shu. He says, I've given the benefit of the doubt that wouldn't have been given to me. Hey, and see, that's another thing, right? Yo, sometimes we overextend that level of consideration, but we don't even consider ourselves. You see what I'm saying? In relationships, organizations, occupations, you know what I mean? Things of that nature. And it's hard. Don't get me wrong. I understand that it's hard, but we have to do it because, y'all, what's the common denominator in our lives?
It's me.
You see? But like we talked about last year now, right? That whole blame thing is because looking at it, me ain't easy. Some people don't want to look at themselves. It's so easy to say everybody's the problem. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you ain't got to work on nothing.
And stay comfortable.
Yeah, I ain't got to work on me. I'm good.
So look, let me ask you this though. How should individuals, and look, y'all chime in too. Shout out for y'all that's tuning in. But the question is this: how should individuals show up based off of what type of individuals they want around them, or even whatever type of experiences? You know what I'm saying, how should they show up, you think?
I feel like you should always still show up as your authentic self, right? Be yourself. Be you, who you are to your core. But just have good decorum about things. You know what I mean? Be respectful. You know, try to be a good person. You ain't gotta change everything about you, but just don't overly try to do something.
You know what I think? I think to add to that, having a healthy understanding of expectation management. Okay. Expectation management. Sometimes we go into situations or relationships expecting individuals to be who we think we are or what we think we deserve. But in actuality, we're not even putting out what we're even asking a person to even give. You see what I'm saying? Now, why do you think that is, though?
Because it's selfishness. You know what I'm saying? So in order for me to put like a lot of times people only think about their own need first. Right. And so if all I'm thinking about is what I need for me, I'm not really thinking about the output I need to have for you. You know? So,
no, I get it. Now, what you think? What you think about what Shu said? I agree, Shu. So what he said is that's on both sides, okay, which is true. However, I would say not but and there should be a conversation at least for one side. Do you understand what I'm trying to do and how that's looking? And then also too, we have to be able to understand our own capacities. You dig what I'm saying? As a man, we've been trained to put ourselves last. And that's what, so look, even with that being said, I agree. But when do we start to learn differently? You see what I'm saying? Just because we've been trained a certain way does not mean we have to sustain that that thought process in that way. Now, what you think about that, huh?
Yeah, you mean say men and the providers and stuff like that, but then when we're talking about is it me? So there's just some men that don't feel like it needs to be them to be thought about last. You know, I'm not really concerned with who's thinking about what I'm thinking about. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Kind of, but I think I get what you're saying. But as we're talking about, is it me? It's being able to hold ourselves accountable and understanding what we can control and what we can't. Okay.
Yeah.
What we can't control is how an individual respond to how we hold ourselves accountable. We can't. We cannot do that. Right, wrong, or indifferent. All we can do is, like you were saying earlier, is be authentic. Like, you know what? This is what it is. Because if you think about it, y'all, sometimes we put ourselves in situations and we start to be a chameleon just to fit in. And we're not ourselves. But then we continue to complain to loved ones or people that's close to us about the same situation is happening over and over again. The question is, why? Why do you think something is happening? Friends, we're talking about asking ourselves the hard question. Is it me? Is it you? What you thinking, Brian? I see the smoke in the background. What you think?
Well, no, I'm thinking that the reason why people don't say nothing because sometimes they try to sacrifice to get along. You know, so they don't say nothing.
Now, do you think it's because of wanting to be communal, right? Wanting to have that connection, you know what I mean, with individuals?
Yeah, anti-confrontational, you know, and just want other people just to be happy.
So I guess the question is, to what point, or I guess to what extent? Like, how long do you put yourself in a situation where everyone else is benefiting from your discomfort, and you know it doesn't feel well? You know it's not right. You know you're not being your best version of yourself.
I guess that's as much as somebody can take, right? But
yeah,
my question for folks is, how do you realize when it's you, and when it's a you problem and not a they problem?
ooh, ooh.
What you think? Like when you thinking, man, it's everybody just tripping, and you finally hits you like, oh, maybe I'm tripping. What do you do with that information?
You know what, man? So I learned a lot in therapy, man. Thank goodness. And yeah, that is a real question. You know, and I realized that, and I know it's funny, right? Get ready for the gag, right? But I'm not always right. Believe it or not. For some other folks, I don't know why. Maybe I am, but they don't know it, right? It take time, right? It take a minute for them to pick up what I'm putting down, which is cool. But my issue is, and was to a large extent, was being able to be okay with the lack of willingness to understand self. You see what I'm saying? So I can't expect individuals to be something that they aren't, or to want something that they don't. I just have to, let them and be okay with it. But I will hold on to it because I wanted the best for them. And in my mind and in my heart, what I have to give is the best, because apparently you don't know any better than I do. That's a problem, right? That's a problem. So I had to learn that, like, yo, leave folks alone, drop it, and go on about your business. You see what I'm saying? But it took me a while to understand that. See, so I had to learn that. What about you?
I think for me, I have to reflect on whatever the situation is.
Okay.
Right after everything is calmed down, because if I'm in the heat of whatever it is, it's hard for me to see if I'm the one that was out of line or not. Right.
Okay.
So everything has got to calm down if it's one of those kind of situations. And then I'll sit back and I'll replay everything that's going on. Sometimes I even call a friend like you to talk about the issue, to see if it really was me or not. You know what I mean? To see if, no, I'm the one that was out of line. Or is it a they issue?
Well, I mean, I guess that also takes a level of introspective, or being able to be okay with you being probably wrong, or being able to see your blind spot. Like, I didn't even think about it that way. So Shu says, so it's easier to see the issues with the other person, but they benefit from how you are. Yeah. Yeah. Some of them do, and some of them don't. But I mean, I guess, friends, what we're talking about is, if we are the problem, then what do we do? You
What
see
do we
what
do
I'm saying?
about it?
Yeah, what do we do about it? You see what I'm saying? Because I mean, if you think about it, it's like you can't expect deep connections, right? You can't expect deep connections or healthy relationships if you're not even embodying those qualities.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, how can you pour from an empty cup? Or how can you expect people to be something that which you're not? You get what I'm saying? And yeah, but so yeah, by that time it's too late. So I guess what we're trying to do is get individuals in the thought process of having this conversation sooner, right? By understanding who we are. What you think about that, huh?
You gotta understand who you are, then you gotta understand what that person means to you in your life. You know what I'm saying? When either that, or like, what does this business relationship look like? What is whatever it look like, as you reflect on, could this possibly be you? You know what I mean? Were you willing to throw everything away over something that, when you go back and look at it, you can see both sides of it really?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't always mean that you're 100% wrong every time you, quote unquote, take accountability. Sometimes you could just see what the other person saw. I
See,
ain't wrong, but I can see why they thought that way. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's you.
Yeah,
That's you majority of the time. Yeah, you ain't wrong. You ain't wrong. Yeah. Yeah.
You can see why they feel the way they feel about it.
So, and that's the truth. That is the truth. Hey, what's going on? Shout out to Spec. So he says self accountability comes from maturity. No, you're absolutely right. It does. And listen, folks, just because we are aging, right, naturally and incrementally, does not mean that we know it all. So here's another thing, and I want y'all to think about this. In order to identify the fact that we may be the issue, we have to be able to have those hard conversations, right? Even when when there's a level of discomfort. You see what I'm saying? How do you have those conversations, friends? And are you willing? And look, to your point, Rob, look, the deal is this. How do you understand or even wrap your mind around like, yo, I think I might have stepped in something. You get what I'm saying? Because now, I just need to have this conversation, but I don't even know how to have the conversation. And watch this. I might be wrong.
Right. I think that the first thing you got to ask yourself is, are you trying to be right, or are you trying to be right? You know what I mean? Like, when I mean by asking yourself that is, are you trying to be the right person? You know what I mean? Like, you're a righteous person that people respect,
Right or righteous.
Or you just want to be right about something specific in this issue right here.
Yeah.
So you can't admit where there might be any kind of fault, or where where you might not have been all the way truthful. You trying to be right. You trying to win the argument.
See? And I think, I get you. And honestly, that's where ego comes in. You see what I'm saying? That's when ego truly, truly comes in. I'd rather be right than righteous. Okay. I'd rather be right than nice.
Right.
I'd rather, you know what I mean? I'd rather, push and so here's the deal. Look, check it out. Shout out to you again, Shu. He says, we have to grow together. No, we don't. Check this out. You and I both know where I'm from. I know where you from. You and I both know they not where you are right now. Not just physically, but mentally, spiritually, emotionally. You get what I'm saying? So check it out. Let's even talk about this, friends. Sometimes our friends and family aren't they're not willing to evolve. All right. And sometimes we want to force our thought process or the things that we know better onto individuals that don't care. And then so we do become the problem because we're staying in a situation where it doesn't fit us anymore. I don't know hopefully this is making sense to somebody. Okay. Hopefully this is making sense to somebody. Yeah. Shout out to Harlem. So you and I both know, you dig? So when you start to get outside, when you start to grow, okay, when you start to grow, you start to become a problem for a situation or old relationships when you don't fit it anymore. And then you're trying to force something that doesn't belong anymore. Does that make sense? Harm, what you think, man? Is that making sense?
Yeah. I mean, just because you knew him for a long time ago, that means you knew him a long time ago. That don't mean you know them now. You know what I mean? Love can always be there, but man, sometimes where you're at in life outgrew where they are, and they might have outgrown you too.
See,
but they can't always go with you if we're not going to the same place.
And that's the deal. And then that brings us right back to the other part of the show, friends. When we're talking about asking yourself, is it me? And once you identify it, is it time to go? Is it truly time to go? Like, think about this, bro. I've been in situations, occupations, right? That, after doing 20 odd years in the military, we wake up with a certain thought process, right? We wake up with a certain thought process, right? It's a different way of doing things. We communicate different. There is like a certain ethos that we have, right? That we cannot shake off from serving in the military. Now, we go back to our communities, y'all. All right. Now, I know I'm talking to somebody. Look, we go back to our communities, or a community that's that mirrors what we may have came from because we want to give back. But understand in the time frame that you have done certain things, you learned more, you saw the world, you saw different people, you gained a certain level of situation awareness and social intelligence, if you will, right? Just because you did does not mean when you go back home or you go back to that city or you go to that city that you want to pour back into that they have it or they get what you get. So then you have to ask yourself, why am I truly here? Understand there's a difference now. You see things differently, but do you have the capacity? Do you have the capacity? Think about it. So check this out, Herm. Here you are. You was a superintendent, right? The United States Air Force, done so many things, move teams and everything like that. And then now you're in a situation or organization where the leadership is more positional than purposeful. Okay. Meaning there's an individual that's there in a position, but they're not there. They don't have the vision. You know what I'm saying? They don't even know how to communicate leadership. Right. Now, you come with multiple years of experience. Is it you that's the issue? You get what I'm saying? Is it them or is it that? All right, what you think?
So that actually did happen to me.
Okay.
I went into corrections when I first retired. And when I walked in there, no matter, even with all my leadership experience, I'm still at the bottom of the totem pole, right?
Right.
And the person that's in charge of me is this young kid. You know what I mean? He like 24 and don't know anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? As far as leadership goes. It's still me because that's the way the operation is supposed to run. Right?
Okay.
Even though I'm coming in with a quick mind of leadership and all this other type stuff and how things should look, it's not my jail. It's still me. You know what I mean? He's the one that's in charge. I'm the one that needs to check myself.
Ooh. Now, how hard was that though for you?
Oh, I quit. What are you talking about?
See?
Yeah. I quit because it was. I think that especially since I went to that job real fresh out of the Air Force, and I didn't really think I was the kind of guy that's going to hold on to my rank and do all that stuff. But it's not that I held on to my rank, but it's still I held on to, hey, I'm owed a certain level of respect. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to tolerate but so much.
See, now I like that. We're going to put a pin in that, right? Tolerance. So Shu says, it's always you. Why? Because all we can change is ourselves. It's about, am I willing to change? Okay. We meet people because we traveled and we see something in us, but then see us. Yeah. No, I get it. But the question is, too, even to your point, that level of tolerance. Okay. So as we grow I would say when we grow in experiences, like you said, we travel the world, we see different things, right? We learn different things. We travel the world, but then when we come back, do we have the same tolerance for those individuals that had, and I mean, this might sound a little elitist, if you will, but maybe or we're assuming that they had the same opportunities, but didn't take it, right? They had the same, let's say dreams of aspirations, but they didn't really apply themselves. And so now we go back and start hearing certain excuses, like these excuses. Hey, look, hey, I almost enlisted. You did? I almost enlisted. What's going on, Rich? He says, our military experiences helped me evolve outside of the environment I grew up in. No, absolutely. But it makes it harder to go back. You get what I'm saying? But that's the truth. So I guess the question is, how do we manage our own expectations with people and situations? Are they the problem or are we the problem?
We still the problem.
Still. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like Shula said, you can fix what's going on. You can control you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just
And that's why
hard.
I always, even if I don't think I'm the problem, I always try to look at what can I, in myself,
Yeah.
so I can keep myself from this situation.
Yeah. 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 No, I get it. And so it's a shared problem. No, it is. It is to a degree. It's to a degree because it's like, okay, are individuals seeing you evolve or stay the same? You see what I'm saying? So it goes both ways if you think about it. What are we willing to do? What are we willing to do? They see the real us and they can't handle the structure that attracted them to it. Hey, look, he says, stop saying we're the problem. Look, the deal is in certain cases, and I believe this is the key. If we understand again the whole serenity thing, understanding what we can control and what we can't. All right. Just like the Herm point. He was in a situation, he was working with somebody that was out of line. He couldn't take it. And sometimes, like, I believe individuals are doing the best that they can.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They're doing the best that they can. However, that's the best that they can do. So what do? Do we sit there and wait for them to get to where we're at? Because we know what we did to get there. Or do we want to do we sit there and let them try and keep on trying and fail and try? So that's a capacity thing. That's a patience thing, a compassion thing. Do we have that? So friends, that's what we're talking about. Is it me? Should I leave or should I expect somebody to do? See, there you go. But it's situational. See? What you think about that, huh?
No, I think it is very much situational because you can't just throw away everything, over something small or whatever. You know what I mean? So it goes back to what I said about what does that relationship mean to you?
Mm,
You
mm,
know,
No, that makes sense. So now what about this though? I guess as we are talking about do we leave, do we stay? The question is, are you consistent with your actions or is it self sabotage? You right? Think about it. Like, think about this. What if, like, of course, we have, retirement, things of that nature. But what if this was not just, on one side, it's a paycheck, but it's something that you believe in.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Or let's say it's a relationship, but you love this person. You get what I'm saying? Now, what do you do? You see what I'm saying? Like, to your point, you was like, look, I can dig. I can leave. I don't need this. All right. But there's some individuals in certain circumstances, they stay in longer just because they know that it takes time and they may not be in that situation or in a situation when they can leave. Now, what you think about that?
If you stand right, if you stand in the situation and you decide that hey, I will be here, and you know everything that's on it, everything then it's on you after that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There's no more. Is it me problem? Yeah, it's a you problem for sure, all the way.
Mm-hmm.
Because you decided to stay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people's motivations for staying are always going to be different. And some motivations I'll agree with, some I won't. But it don't matter. That's still their reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
All I'm saying is, no matter what your reason is, you stayed. Right, wrong, or indifferent, everything is on you now.
That's the key. That's the key. And you know what? Shout out to Jeff. Today he was talking about understanding our willingness and capability. Okay? Our willingness and capability. So what I'm saying is, friends, we can be willing to do a whole bunch of stuff, but are we truly capable? And then even to your point, Shu, right? Love is a decision, not a feeling, right? the thing is after, do you love enough? Like, does love keep you there, or does love, cause you to, leave? All right. What Tina say? What love got to do with it? For real, for
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? What love got to do with it? And I mean, it's not just relationships, friends. It's our own mental health. If you
Yeah.
think about it, like how long do you stay in a situation as you're deteriorating? If that
Man,
makes
love is not a logical emotion, man.
why you say
So
it's not logical?
because uh, uh, love
It's
will have you
deep.
feeling like you really love somebody that really just beat the hell out of you.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Or
Figuratively
just
and physically.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Love will have you wanting the attention and wanting the best for somebody that abused you. You just want them to turn their life around so they can love you the right way. Love is not a logical emotion. You know what I mean?
So now, when you say that is then ego?
That is ego. I think that is love.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a time. Look, I mean, love itself, I believe love is a verb. Okay. As far as what you do and your intentions behind it. But sometimes we misconstrue the definition of it. You get what I'm saying? And saying, well, no, I'm doing this because I love you. Really? Like, are you really, when you're not just hurting the other person, but even hurting yourself?
Well, I know that what I was thinking about is more along the lines of just hurting themselves, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And since they love that person, you know what I mean, they accept all the abuse and punishment that comes with it.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And when I was saying love is not a logical emotion, it's like sometimes you really can't base what you want to do based off love.
Mm.
You
Okay.
know,
So what do you base it off of?
you do use love. Love is an influencer, but you really got to think about, hey, are you happy in this situation? Do you foresee yourself, you know what I'm saying, going to be able to be happy moving forward? What are we really doing?
So I like that. So first of all, shout out to everybody that's tuning in, y'all. We're really asking this question: is it me? Okay, and if it is me, what are we willing to do to change the situation? And sometimes it's those consequences that we're not really ready for. Again, so shout out to everybody. What's going on? Richie says need wisdom along with that love. Absolutely, absolutely. So how about this? Are we blaming, again, are we blaming others instead of taking responsibility? Okay. Are we truly blaming others? Like, for example, when we first started having this conversation, y'all, we was talking about the gym. Oh, as a matter of fact, part of what we was talking about today in churches, man, look, I don't know scripture like that, but understand this. It was this old dude, okay, standing by this water. You dig? He was standing by this pool for 38 years and say, hey, the reason why I can't jump in the water and get healed is because everybody keep getting in my way. I just can't do it.
Hmm.
Think about it. But then the question is, do you really want what you say you want? So within this parable, it's, do you want to be healed? Do you want to be saved? Like, or do you want to be loved? Do you want to be employed? You see what I'm saying? So that's the risk. Right now, if you are in a situation that is uncomfortable, right, it doesn't make any financial sense, it is you then, right? What you think about that?
Then it is. I mean, we just said it is you. But I want to go back a little bit. You talked about something as far as like influences, right? You
Yeah.
know, one thing I don't like when folks say that somebody's a bad influence on somebody.
Okay.
Um, I have a friend who has a daughter, right?
Hmm.
And then they was talking about the daughter's friends, and they said, "Yeah, such is a bad influence on such and such."
Hmm.
I like that. There ain't no bad influences. You know, that kid is that kid, and you know, your kid has a responsibility to follow what they supposed to do.
Okay.
You know what I mean? The whole bad influence thing to me puts your self accountability off the hook.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole, you know, it's them. It's not me. It's them. No, I mean, no matter what they've done, you're still responsible for you. You get what I'm saying?
Look, you see what Satch says?
I
Shout out
can't
to
read
Satch.
it.
Yeah, I know it got down too little. So check it out. He says, often, I like this. Often it is about what we have to. I'm sorry. What we want to have that determines what I do. Do you get that, man? Matt, hold on. Just that alone is heavy. Okay, that all changes who I will be. Classic. Have to be. No, that makes so much sense. So that means essentially it's conditional. It's conditional. Now you say, is that what you're saying, Satch? That's what I'm thinking. Okay, but that does make sense. That does make sense. That's how I'm picking it up, right? If situations are conditional, I'm only able or willing to go this far because I'm going to get this in return. But when I don't get this in return, I'm mad. I don't like it. That means it's conditional versus unconditional. And so even when it comes down to that love, are you truly loving this person? Or even that job? Do you truly want to just get paid? Or do you want to control how this person loves you or how this person feels about you or even this organization? It says it's always conditional. What you think? Because it's hard. I mean, look, I can see why this is so layered. Okay, I can see why this is so layered, but it makes sense though. I mean, we can make up y'all so many reasons and excuses as to why we don't have what we have because we're blaming other people every day. Every day. Yes, absolutely. Said it applies to all aspects of our lives, right? And that's the truth. You see what I'm saying? But if we got to be willing to say, yo, is it me? Am I tripping? I mean, honestly, real talk, that was one of the first things that kept me in therapy. For real. Because if I start just leaning on my own understanding, now I'm only going to stay a certain way. You know what I'm saying? I had to be willing to say, yo, if somebody is saying this, my good friend is saying this, and this person over here that say they love me, but they saying something I don't. They saying something I don't want to hear.
Yeah.
Look, I need to be willing to find out. Maybe it is me.
Yeah,
Maybe
you gotta be. Yeah. You gotta at least listen to what somebody's saying.
Oh man, you know what? Check this out. We're about to do this real smooth. We're about to do this real smooth, man. Because Satch, if you there, man, I really, really, really would like you to go a little bit more in depth with this. And y'all, we've done this before, but I think that this would be right on time. So if you see this, check it out. Just give me a call. Right, we're about to bring you up on the show, and then this goes for anybody too. All right. So if you got a question or a statement, the number's there, right? 618-792-6747. Get on the show live, like right now, because we're having a conversation about, is it me? It's times when it is, and then it's times when it's not. You get what I'm saying? For real. Right? That fixes one side of the equation. But so if you think about this though, Shu, and shout out to you again. He says, if you are looking in therapy, that fixes one side of the equation. However, if you go to any type of relationship, in my opinion, you're supposed to be going into this relationship whole. Okay. If you are not whole, another person is not your other half. Okay. You need to go into a situation whole. If you're going in there less than that, That's your responsibility to be that which you are made to be. It's not our responsibility for other people to want that. Okay. Look at that. Yeah, if you look like a duck, quack like a duck. No, you're right. So, I mean, but that's the deal, right? But again, Shu, hit me up, or even Satch, man. Look, hit me up, y'all. This, I think this is some real good conversation. Again, it's 28792647. Y'all just give us a call. But yeah, man. I mean, dang, I didn't even think about this in this aspect, but it's not easy though to look at yourself.
No.
It's not.
Why do you think that is though?
Because it's lonely.
Yeah,
Right?
it is.
Look, it's lonely. Like, it's not easy for real looking at yourself. And then look, being able to say, hey, I didn't know that. You see what I'm saying? Or it's like I have to be able to admit I chose wrong. You get what I'm saying? I chose wrong. I picked wrong, like Shu started to say, you know. But then after that, friends, we're talking about then what? Because if you truly knew better, see, you would have done better. But now that you know better, you have to hold yourself accountable. Because other than that, it goes back to ego when you are professing that which you know, expecting somebody else to get on your page when they're in a different book. You can't do that. You can't, for real. And you can't expect people to do the work that you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. And then sometimes, as we're talking about consequences, as you see that is you, or if you learn that is you, move out the way. You see what I'm saying? I mean, what you think about that? You can really be holding up somebody else's blessing.
For real. Like, you know, and there's nothing wrong with admitting, hey, that's just not the way I'm going. And it's mutually beneficial for both of us.
Come on.
If I slide. You know what I mean? It's not always beef.
They don't have to be.
No. It's just I'm not going that way. You're doing good going that way. I recognize that. But I'm going this way.
So why do you think people don't do it?
Because they think it's about some kind of loyalty, you know what I mean? Some kind of, or trying to hold on to connections that was once that you once depended on.
Yeah, I agree. So look, Shu says, I'm accountable, but we don't fully heal before we move on. No, that's true. And listen, I don't think there's ever a such thing as healed as far as a ED. You get what I'm saying? There's an everyday thing. And then so as you do move on, no matter what aspects of your life, you being able to be transparent, say, hey, listen, this is what I went through, and this is how it's changed my outlook, right? My worldview now has been shifted based off of this, and I'm working on that. You see what I'm saying? I'm working on it, and I'm talking about a new situation. Look, think about it. Even when you're having even when you left job, okay, and you have an interview to a new job, they're gonna say, okay, what happened at your last space? You know what I mean? Wherever you was at, like, why did you leave? Why didn't it work out? We have to be willing to have that conversation. And then, too, I would say the level of maturity is saying, hey, I can't speak for them, but I know that this is what I could not tolerate. I did not know that at the time. However, I can't operate in this space. You see what I'm saying? I cannot operate in this space. So here, I'm going to put it in the chat, okay? But it's 618-792 6747. There you go. It's coming on up in there. Yeah. And look what Rich says. People don't want to show their vulnerabilities. I'm telling you.
Yeah. That's another deep part, especially with guys, man. Like
faded out. Y'all think he ain't charging his battery up. But and I get what he's saying. I get exactly what he's saying. He's saying that it's hard with us. And it is. It is. Because what that means is you have to realize that, hey, I am the captain of my soul. Okay. But I'm not responsible. I'm not responsible for anyone else's. For real. Okay. For real. This is our journey, y'all. Believe it or not. You came here by yourself. You're going to leave by yourself whenever your time come. But it's up to you really as far as how you're going to hold yourself accountable by that which you did not know, the things you didn't know. Can you move on from the things that you didn't get right? You see what I'm saying? And being okay with it. It's not easy. Trust me, it's not. But what I'm saying is, if you can't let go, here we go. Yo,
dog, what's happening?
Satch, what's up, brother? What's going on with you?
I'm real good, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, you got a great topic that you got going on right now.
I appreciate you. Appreciate you chiming in. So what do you think, man? Give it, kind of elaborate a little bit more on your statement.
Okay, so the have to be is not mine. It's not foundational to me, but it's a theory.
Yes.
It's what I want to have causes what I do, and then I will change who I be because of it, right? I will be somebody different because of what I want to have. The opposite is where we're really looking for people to be more authentic to themselves is, this is who I be, and because who I be is what I do, and in the end, what I do, I'll get what I have. I want to have.
Yes. So it's understanding, I guess, the shift of the dichotomy of wanting or being, right? Understanding who you are, being that which you want to have versus I got to have this so I can be.
That's correct, right? And so many of us are driven by what we want to have. And so in the context of your conversation, because of what I want to have in my love life, because of what I want to have in my work, in my position, because of who I want to have in my life when it comes to me economically, that changes what I do. Right? It's driving the things that I do. What glass I will break, how I'll betray myself. All of those things will change if I'm led by what I have, right? Instead of the opposite being true. If this is who I be, this is the human, the authentic be, and because of who I be, I do, and that leads to what I want to have. Does that make sense?
It does. Herb, I don't know what happened, man, but you get it, bro. Hey. Yeah. No, for real. Matt Satch, that was dope, man. That was super dope. We're getting ready to wrap it on up, but I think that we should be able to take this to another level on another show, man. If you want to join in and be a guest, man, we'd be honored to have you on. You with it?
I do. I am with it, bro.
Right on. Well, look, man, enjoy the rest of your Sunday, man. I appreciate you, and I'll be touching back with you soon, okay?
Man, thank you so much for the topic. So I appreciate you calling me. Thanks, man.
All right on. Yo, man, super dope. So it says, look, people tend to hold on to things, and then, things they should let go. Once you let all go, then you can probably begin to heal, and that's his opinion. And no, I get it. Look at this. Yeah. Yo, was that your Verizon issue? That's what Rich said.
Because I was on my phone and my daughter called me with emergency in her eyes.
It's always. See, talking about love, right? Hey, and so you the issue. But no, Rich also said that a relationship is like a house, y'all. Always room for improvement. It is. But I guess that's when it comes down to it. Are we willing to improve ourselves?
Right.
Well, go ahead, man. Look, go on and give us the final word since you playing hooky.
Don't be embarrassed, scared, ashamed to say it could be you. That is you. That maybe you're the issue, the reason why your social circles ain't working out. Maybe there's something really going on with you to why you can't hold on to a job. Why you can't hold on to friends. Why relationships ain't working out. When a lot of things are happening and you find yourself the common denominator out of a lot of stuff that ends in misfortune, Don't be ashamed to say, maybe it's me, and figure out what it is about you that has drawn such negative results. Because if you keep trying to look to the outside sources like it ain't you, like it's not your breath that stank, then you'll never be able to move forward.
Wow. Hey, man, I think that was the smartest thing you said all year, bro. Shout out, dog. Yeah. Hey, well, look, I know we had Shu. He called, brother. Look, we're going to be doing this again, Brian, and but we're getting low on time. But we do want to say we appreciate everybody for tuning on in, y'all. And look, also too, remember this, y'all. We're here every Sunday. Okay, every Sunday, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. And make sure you're following us, y'all, and connect. And if there's anything that y'all ever want to talk about or things that y'all think that we should talk about, let us know. We're always open to that. And like Rich said, there's always room to grow. And that's what we're doing for this year. So, but we appreciate y'all, right? We appreciate y'all for staying on and share this with a friend, and especially somebody that can use this news. Right on. But until then, we holla at you. Later.